Now, after more than 50 years of community support for superior health care and tremendous generosity from the community, a new chapter in the Sun Health Foundation's story is being written. The Foundation's Generosity for Generations campaign includes the $34 million emergency department and patient care transformation at Banner Boswell. So now, with the new developments in construction of the emergency department, they are rapidly occurring as this project nears completion. Some of you may have been on our Zoom before where we showed the progress and the milestones. I believe that's still on our website if you want to take a look at that. So it's my great pleasure now to introduce Dr. Scott Anderson, who will show us with brand new photos where progress stands today. We don't have any nicknames for Dr. Anderson, so I'm just going to call him Dr. Anderson. For the very first time, these are not renderings of the inside. These are actual photos of the inside of the emergency department. And it's in its final phases of transformation. So Dr. Anderson, I believe we are ready for you to step up for the tour. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you. Good morning. Appreciate the introduction. It is really a pleasure to be here virtually with all of you and to see so many familiar faces. Those of you who know me know that I would much rather be sitting there in a room with you together or actually walking through and touring this facility with you. But we're gonna go through it from a distance, and I'm gonna hopefully get you as excited as our team is, because this is really an incredible addition to our community. You know, most of what I've done, it feels like in the last 6 months, has been working with this thing called coronavirus. I don't know if anybody out there has heard of this or not, but as we talk about our hospitals and the impact that they have and the partnership of Sun Health and in supporting care, I wanted to just give you a couple numbers before we start on the ED, because I thought these were really impactful. Since this began, our two facilities at Del Webb and Boswell have cared for and evaluated 8,900 patients for possible coronavirus. We've hospitalized 1,500 patients. We've provided 25,000 patient care days, and we've had 88% success rate at having people who have been sick enough to require hospitalization be safely discharged back to their families. So if anyone doubts the impact of having a high quality medical center in their community, that's it. And all of you who support the growth in this area, who support Sun Health and support our banner hospitals, you're part of our team, and really thank you for your contributions. So as we start to talk about this facility that I actually can look out my window and see right now, it's pretty incredible. We have been in this community now, as Gina said, for a little over 50 years, and we'll celebrate the 50th anniversary of the founding of this hospital this year. And I can't think of a better way to do it than with the project that we're about to show you. I can tell you over the 10 years that I've been associated with this portion of the organization, this has always been something that we've talked about, that we've identified a need for, and it's been all of your support and the Sun Health Foundation support that has allowed us to make this a reality. You know, Gina was saying that this is nearing completion. You're going to be amazed by these pictures. I was actually out there walking it just on Monday. We will take possession of this facility 1 week from Monday, and we will start outfitting it with gurneys, with monitors, with medications, with all the things that we need. And we have about a 4-week run-up to outfit that building. And we will be on August 6th, seeing our first patient in this facility. So really excited. And Gina, if you want to, or I'm sorry, Linda, if you want to advance to some of these pictures, we'll show you a little bit of what we're doing. So this is the outside of the building. Anyone who's driven by knows that the crane is gone. Most of the facade is in place. and it is a completely different look for Banner Boswell. This is something that you can see all the way from the freeway, and it really was built at the center of this community, and we're real proud of that. And it really, it's amazing when you look at this new entrance, when we look at the 6-story tower that's been built out, the patient tower with 50,000 square feet per floor that will have the capacity to grow for another 200 patients over the next decade, and the ED project, which is what we'll be opening up in the next couple of weeks. Also part of this project that we'll be opening right around January 1st is the new lobby, a new registration area, and a community outpatient pharmacy with drive-up curbside service and a coffee shop. So what you're seeing in the picture here, and this is literally last week that this concrete went in, and this circle here actually will be the area where we have a drive-up pharmacy. So that patients who receive their care in our facility, if you're in the hospital and you need to go home with a new medication, we can have that for you before you leave the building. There's no interruption. We make sure you're educated and understand how to take that medication. And if you need a refill, you pull right up to that, and someone can bring it out to you without even leaving your car. And that's an example of the level of thought and detail that really went into this. You only get a few chances, maybe one in or I guess two now, 2 in 50 years, to redesign the experience. And I heard Gina say the words transition care. That's what this is. We really are trying to build a location for the community that represents all that Boswell has to offer, and all that our Sun Health and Banner partnership has to offer. You all have heard me talk about the quality of care in this facility. So Banner Boswell is one of only 2 CMS 5-star facilities in the state of Arizona. That is the highest ranking. It's the most highly regarded public ranking. It looks at experience, it looks at care, it looks at safety, it looks at quality. It combines all of those things, and we are one of only 2 5-star facilities in the state. We are ranked as the #2 hospital in the state of Arizona by U.S. News and World Report. Identified as a high-ranking facility or highly performing facility in 9 different specialties. We've had safety ratings from Leapfrog, A ratings for the last 4 or 5 years consecutively, and just a huge number of recognitions. And so it's exciting to take what we all know is quality and be able to put a face on that and have a facility that really on the outside symbolizes the excellence that has been taking place on the inside. So we're real excited to share this with you. While I don't hope that anyone needs to go to the emergency room, I do hope that you take the time to come and take a peek inside. We'll be opening an outpatient coffee shop in there as well, and that'll be open to our community. And the renditions of the lobby, the registration area really are amazing, as well as a donor recognition area that we'll be putting in that area. If we go to the next slide, what you'll see is this drive-up area, and we added a lot of additional parking right there in the front of the building. And this is patient-only parking, and this is so that our patients and their families can get in and out very easily. And that when you're coming to receive hospital care, it's a positive experience. You can see how close this parking is to the facility. We still will have our golf cart and shuttle service, but really focused on access. You'll also see that this is right here now. We push the facility out to the corner of Thunderbird, and actually the small access road is gone. So taking a very prominent location right there in our community, and really excited about what this looks like and what it's going to mean for how you receive care. Go to the next slide. We'll just go past this one. That's just a picture of our parking lot. This is our new patient lobby. And you can see it is really moving along very, very quickly. Under the paper there, the floors are completely finished. The ceilings are being finished and really just being outfitted with the last cabinetry and lighting and the final punch list for this project. This lobby, and this picture only shows you one angle of it. This area is about the size of the entire Boswell ED department when the hospital first opened. When it first opened, we had 5 patient exam rooms. We'll have 56 in this new facility. So this waiting room, which is a very comfortable and inviting environment, we're hoping will represent kind of your entry into the hospital. We know that at Banner Boswell, we have one of the highest ED to admission ratios. And that's not a bad thing in any way. It actually means that a lot of patients who come into our community, our facility, come in through this entrance, and we want to create a very, very positive experience, one that's welcoming and make sure that your care needs are met. No one wants to be in a waiting room, but if you are in a waiting room, we want to make sure that it's large enough to accommodate the people. Those of you who've been in the Boswell ED know it's a small, empty, windowless area. And this is exactly the opposite. This is our new front door. So this is where we look forward to welcoming you. We'll go to the next slide, please. This is really, I think, a very telling slide. What you're seeing here is our ambulance pull-up area. And I don't know if anyone here has ever gone up the ED ambulance ramp at Boswell Hospital. Feel free to use those reaction emojis. I don't know if there's one for fear or terror or lost, but the old ramp was a bit of a challenge. A lot of us, I don't know how many people know this, but when Sun City was created, there was a lake that was dug just across the street here from Thunderbird. And when they dug the lake, there was a large amount of dirt. And they piled up that dirt and they built the hospital on that man-made hill. So when you drive up to Boswell, you'll notice that the entrances are all up this hill. Well, that seemed really neat when ambulances were a small 1950s pickup truck with a cab on the back. But fire trucks, ambulances, and everything else today are a lot bigger. And as they go up that same entrance that our patients go up to the ED, it has created some very scary environments and really was not conducive. So what you see here is a totally separate ambulance entrance. This is designed for our fire trucks, for our ambulances. It's got plenty of open space, and this is a completely different traffic flow and entrance from our walk-up patients. So no more battling the fire trucks for a parking spot. The entrance that I showed you before is a patient-only entrance. That's where you drive up and come in. And that's separated out from this ground level ambulance entrance. And that was a huge, huge change and huge improvement to this project. The other thing that was required for us to do this is we've actually had to go through and renumber every room and every hospital and hospital room and floor in this building because we had a ground and we had a 1. And it became very confusing when we moved this over to the new area where now everything is ground. So everything will start at level 1. And it's also allowed us a lot of really neat efficiencies in the design. Our ICUs, our operating rooms, our cardiac cath labs where people go for a heart attack, all of that is built on the ground floor. When your emergency department is on the 2nd floor, it means that anytime you need those services, we have to take you and your care team, put you on a gurney, take you in an elevator, take you down the hallway. It doesn't sound like a lot, but when we're dealing with someone who's having a heart attack or a stroke or who's been in a car accident, has had an aneurysm rupture, or whatever these things are, we talk about the golden hour. And the golden hour is that first hour where every minute, every second really matters. So we designed this so that You come directly from that ambulance or front door right into the patient care areas, and right out of the back, you'll see that flows into the ICUs, flows into our procedural areas, and cuts a lot of delay off delivering care. So without further ado, let's go inside this building. This is a real picture of the inside of one of our care areas. So along the right side, what you're seeing are a few of our 56 patient care rooms. And in the center is our workstation. And you see it was designed with a very large workstation where doctors, nurses, technicians all can work with direct visualization of almost all of our patient care rooms. So they can see you, you can see them, and it adds a level of safety and efficiency that we've never had before. So bringing all these rooms together and allowing that very open workspace will enhance the patient experience. Go to the next slide. This is another back area. You can see a workstation. Behind it in the back right there, you'll see the very large doors. And when we go into one of the rooms, what you'll see is that the rooms were really designed around our community and making sure that people are coming in, visitors with walkers or wheelchairs or need time getting in and out. These rooms are designed for enhanced access, even down to the level of the floor, which has a small level of padding in it to ensure if anyone would fall or there'd be any event that they're less likely to be injured. In the back left of that picture there, you see an area where the doors will be. It's kind of a white area, and that's going back into our imaging area. We'll have two brand new CAT scan rooms directly attached to the back and two medical imaging areas. So a way of ensuring that when people come in with immediate needs, we're getting you to the care that you need as quickly as possible. And focusing on getting you healthy and getting you home. Next slide. Let's go one more because I want to go inside the room here. So this is a typical patient care room. And you'll see much larger than the rooms that we have. This is the level of completeness that's out there. This is ready for care. So beginning next Monday, we'll go in there and we'll put the heart monitors on the wall. We'll put the beds in the room, chairs for patients. You can see that the exam light is already mounted from the ceiling and ready to care for patients. We'll hook up the oxygen lines, and this room is really ready to go. This is the level of doneness that the vast majority of this facility is in right now. And we're ready to start seeing patients. Next slide. This is one of our larger patient trauma rooms. We are a level 4 trauma center. We don't see high level trauma, but that doesn't mean that we don't still get significant injuries. Those two circles that you see in the picture, those are actually operating room lights. So this room is about 2 to 3 times the size of that room that we saw before. This is where our sickest patients can be cared for, and will allow the entire care teams to be in, specialists, whoever is needed to provide care for the patient. That larger boom that you're seeing holds all of the electronics, all of the equipment, all of the gases. This really could function as a mini operating room. And to the left of this, what you can't see is that this room actually connects to the room next to it. There's a separate sliding glass door, just like the one in front, that connects to the second trauma room. These are the closest room to that ambulance entrance that we showed you earlier. And this will allow our care teams to be in that area immediately and taking care of our most critically ill patients. So this is a huge change in what we have now. The other thing we've made a big investment is in telehealth. So all these rooms will be built out with the capability that a specialist from University Hospital or one of our partner hospitals in Colorado, if we needed it, could actually remotely look into that room. An intensivist, a cardiologist, talk two-way with our patients when they're in there, give guidance to the team. And this is really just very, very cutting-edge technology. So huge advances. The other thing I'll mention that's very interesting about the design is as we were nearing completion with coronavirus, we realized that there might be a need for coronavirus type treatment in the future. And so we built out 19 of the 55 rooms to have negative pressure capacity. And the reason that we do that is that makes it a safer care environment for other patients in the department and for our caregivers. So we added that, and we had the luxury of being able to add that because we still were in that phase of construction. And we also went through and looked at the entrances to the facility and the patient flow to ensure that we had the ability to separate patients who might have infectious diseases from non-infectious patients. So huge amount of thought and design that went into this design. Next slide. I think that might be getting very close to the end. I don't have my deck here in front of me. Do we have any more there, Gina?
So Dr. Anderson, I think that was the final slide in this presentation. How amazing is this whole project has moved quickly and efficiently and effectively, of course, with the patient experience in mind every step of the way. Dr. Anderson, do you have a few minutes that you could maybe answer any questions if we have any of our guests who want to raise their hand and ask a question?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. That's why I'm here. Please.
All right. So you have the Chief Medical Officer of Vanderbilt Webb Medical Centers ready to answer your questions. I don't think he'll offer any diagnoses over the Zoom, but he'll answer any questions you might have. Mary Audio, let's see. Can you unmute Mary so that she can ask her question of Dr. Anderson? So Mary, can you unmute yourself?
There you go.
There you go.
My question for the doctor is, how many new doctors and nurses will we need to fill up all these rooms?
You know, as far as new, right now we're not adding a lot of additional staff. We are moving out of the old space into the new space. So we do have a very large ED physician, physician's assistant, and nursing team. So we are fully staffed in that area. We actually will gain some efficiencies as well that will allow us to care for more patients in this new space. As the patient volumes grow, and we expect them to grow, we will add staff over time as we need to. But right off the bat, we don't need to put any additional staff because we are moving from one ED to the other. But we fully intend we'll have to manage our staffing budgets to meet the demand of the community. And the more patients that we have, the more we can see. We see right now about 48,000 emergency department patients per year. At least that was last year's number. And we built this with the capacity to exceed 65 to 70,000 patients a year if we need to. So there is considerable opportunity for growth. And you know, the growth of our facilities depends on the communities choosing us. You know, we grow when people say, I want to go to Boswell, I want to go to Webb for care. That's what allows us to continue to invest in these programs. It allows us to continue to invest in physicians and services. There's so many actually amazing service lines that we're growing right now. It's fantastic to be in a facility that has such a great upward trajectory.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate you coming today. Okay.
Thanks, Mary. Dr. Anderson, I saw a question come across the screen relative to confirming some statistics that maybe you can help us with. I understand that nearly 80% of the admissions into Boswell come through emergency, and there's a very high number of that is cardiac related. And in speaking with a cardiac surgeon yesterday, he was talking about some of the new equipment that will come online at some point relative to cath labs and some of the cardiac service lines that you were talking about. Would you be kind enough to speak a little bit to that?
Yeah, you're correct. We do see a very high percentage of our business come through the emergency door. That's what makes this project so significant for us. As far as the cardiac service line investments, we really are focusing on a couple key areas for growth at Boswell. Really our two big buckets are cancer care and cardiac care. And we've got some great community partners. We've got some really great providers and service lines. As far as cardiac surgery, we are growing. We're doubling our cardiac surgery capacity, and we've also added over recent years a structural heart program. And structural heart is basically a minimally invasive heart surgery. So it means we go in through an artery in a vein, usually down in the groin area, and fix the heart. So we can put in new valves, we can fix old valves, we can close holes in the heart, we can attach pacemakers, we can do any of a number of things without ever having to have surgery. So a lot of the long recoveries, and I don't know if anyone ever had open heart surgery in the 80s or 90s, but those of you who have can probably say you were in the hospital for the better part of 2 weeks and then rehab for another 2 weeks after that. It was a huge undertaking. We have patients who get a new heart valve and they go home within 24 to 48 hours. So really incredible when you think about it, because the pain is not there, the recovery is not there, the decompensation is not there, and the risk to our patients is not there. Risk is a huge thing. We work very hard to make a safe hospital, but you are a lot safer in your home than you are in this building. That's why you're all at home right now. We could be together, but why take that risk, right? We want you to be in a very safe environment. So the quicker we can get you home with these technologies, the better. Part of the new building that we included was the shell for a cardiac catheterization lab. And you heard me talk about how you can go from the ED into our cath lab. Well, right now we've got actually a split cath lab. We've got our what's called an EP lab, electrophysiology. That's where we do a lot of the ablations, which is where they look at how the heart conducts electricity, look at the pacemakers. That our EP lab and our kind of emergency lab is in one area. And lab is the word we use for operating room, for a heart operating room. Our normal outpatient procedures are done in a separate building. We'll be building this out to really create a comprehensive heart center on the campus. And that will include multiple cardiac catheterization labs that provide both heart care, peripheral vascular care, electrophysiology labs, non-invasive cardiology, that's an ultrasound of your heart and stress tests. And then we're also looking at how we build out our heart rehab center and creating a more complete, organized experience from beginning to end. So there is a huge amount of work being done in that area. And Boswell really will be the heart hospital for the west half of Phoenix. We've made that kind of put that line in the sand with Banner Corporate. They have absolutely supported us in this growth, and that's one of the ways we're going to continue to grow and to fill that tower. Because as Gina mentioned, every minute really matters when you're dealing about heart care.
Well, thank you for that. And one more quick comment, I guess more than a question. You and I've had conversations about how this whole project was designed to improve the patient experience and improve patient outcomes. It's also been designed with the staff experience first and foremost in mind, which of course impacts the patient experience. So I understand that there's been some changes in the flow of triage and other things, and maybe you will take a moment to speak to that, if you would, please.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I think one of the biggest things that we talked about a little bit was that separation between the ambulance flow and the walk-in patient flow, because the needs often are very different. And that's not to say that we don't have people who walk in who have critical time-sensitive needs, but when you're driving into an emergency room, a lot of times how you're registered, what you need, how you're initially evaluated is going to be different than when an ambulance brings you in. When an ambulance brings you in, we know about it before you even leave your own home. They call us, they transmit over to us pictures of the EKG or let us know what's going on. They communicate with us, and so we're ready, and that's what that drive up ambulance entrance is really all about. The front triage process for us is more about how do we create that experience that right off the bat welcomes you into the facility, addresses your need, creates a positive experience as you go through registration and as you get brought back into the initial triage rooms so that you're seen right away. We focus on the time that it takes from the moment you hit the door until you're seen by a provider, and the time until we make a decision as to whether you're going to stay or go. So we focus really hard on how. I'm sorry. Real hard to make sure that we're creating a very positive experience. It is a positive experience for our staff too. You know, one that they're really excited to enter this new space. We showed back, I think, slide 26 or 27, that large common workspace. So the ability for doctors, there you go, and nurses and techs and everyone to work in a very collaborative environment, and to know that you know that the care they're delivering is in a place that's safe, where things are organized. One of the pictures actually, Gina, I wish we had put in here. It's really neat. Is when you go into some of our patient rooms, we've got rooms that have the ability to be completely safe for patients who have either psychiatric or any level of mental illness, and we can actually block off all of the areas that could potentially harm a patient and create a safer environment. So all of these things like line of sight and the telehealth, the increased access, all of these things are designed to make it easier to do people's jobs so that they can deliver better care.
Well, Dr. Anderson, thank you so much for this wonderful tour and your comments. And I would be remiss if I didn't offer up that a lot of this has been due to philanthropy from the community, from generations before, generations coming up. And of course, this kind of generosity is what also recruits and retains some of the best medical professionals, which provide the best care to our residents. So I'd like to also share with our guests that Dr. Anderson is a true picture of philanthropy. He serves on the Sun Health Foundation Board of Trustees, and he gives of his time today, of his talent as his Chief Medical Officer, of his treasure, he's been very generous, and of course of his testimony. He absolutely believes in these two hospitals and providing the best care in the community. Thank you again, Dr. Anderson.
You, and I just want to thank everybody who's here with Sun Health. I mean, you all have supported this hospital, you've supported this community, and continue to do so. And you know, on behalf of everybody here, we are very grateful for your continued support, and very privileged that you continue to trust us in your medical care.
Thank you. Okay, so now in respect of everybody's time, we've had a great session this morning, but I would like to invite our CEO, Joe LaRue, to offer up a few words in closing. Joe, are you ready? There he is.
Good morning, friends, family, and neighbors. I'm Joe LaRue, the CEO of Sun Health. Thank you for spending time with us this morning to learn more about this exciting transformation of Banner Boswell. Very special thanks to Dr. Anderson for taking time out of his busy day to give us this exclusive update. Dr. Anderson, you're such a talented physician, a great supporter, a champion for Banner Boswell, Sun Health, and our community. We are very blessed to have you in our community helping ensure our health and wellness. Not to mention that you're a very difficult act to follow. Although I'm not with you all in person, I'm very delighted to be a part of this very unique and fun way to share information and get a first peek at the transformation of our medical center. So thank you, Gina, for inviting me to Coffee with Gina and Friends. The new developments are happening very quickly on the Banner Boswell campus. Our focus today has been on the new emergency department. What a phenomenal transformation this is for the campus, for our community, and for each one of us. Now let's just take a moment to think about what it would be like not to have adequate emergency services in our community. Or what it would be like if we had outdated facilities that are not growing and changing with our community. Or we have services that are not responsive to the needs of our loved ones, our friends, our family, ourselves, in the time of need. This vital project is ensuring that all of this is possible. And it's ensuring superior, and I emphasize the word superior, healthcare will continue to be available in one of the most innovative and patient-focused emergency departments in the entire valley for generations to come. To fund this transformative project takes all of us, quite literally, just like the massive community support received 50 years ago in 1970 to build Boswell Hospital. This transformation 50 years later in 2020 would not be possible without substantial community support. Support from the individuals that live, work, and play in our community, like you and me. SunHealth is very pleased to play such a vital role in this transformation and in seeking the community support through our Generosity for Generations campaign. Because of the recent events, like COVID, we know that we are stronger standing together, working together, supporting each other, and supporting the community. Your support for this project is critical to its success, to our success to strengthen our community's emergency resources so that they're in time of need. I'm inviting you to join your generous friends and neighbors who are making this project a reality. Your gift will change lives for generations to come. I believe your gift pays honor and respect to those thousands of community members who gave 50 years ago to make Boswell Hospital a reality. Please join me today to make Boswell 2020 transformation a reality and ensure Boswell's continued existence for the next 50 years. Speaking of standing together in strength, I want to take a moment to express our hope that you're staying safe, strong, and healthy. SunHealth is committed to your well-being. Please don't delay in seeking the medical care that you may need because of the times we're in. You can trust our area healthcare providers, including Banner Boswell and Banner Deli Webb Medical Centers, to provide you safe and quality medical care. Please know that your health and well-being is our highest priority. So before I say farewell, I'd like to invite you to future events. Dr. Anderson is one of a number of our special guests that we'll have on an ongoing basis to share updates on health services for our community. So we hope that you can join Gina and Friends regularly. In fact, I invite you to join us on Friday, August 28th at 10 a.m. on Zoom for part 2 of this coffee. That's when construction reaches another milestone towards completion. You'll be among the first to see inside of the new ED, emergency department, and hear from Banner Health staff about its operations. So if you haven't already RSVP'd, please do so. Please call Joyce Wilt at 623-471-8508. 623-471-8508. We hope this information shared today and in the future virtual get-togethers is enlightening and educational for you. And we truly hope that it helps empower you to live a longer, healthier, and a more purposeful life. As always, if there's anything that we can do for you, please call. Thank you for joining us today. Please be safe, be well. Take care.
Oh, Joe, great closing comment there. Thank you so much for giving us your thoughts and your comments and your well wishes. Again, just as a reminder, there's a lot of excitement coming up in the few months and few weeks ahead. Of course, it's been an exciting couple of years here. Joe talked a little bit about the August 28th pre-ribbon cutting, which will be another virtual event with Gina and friends. And it's so cool to be getting so many new friends. I just love this. And then our first patient at the emergency department will be admitted on October the 6th. We have other events coming up to celebrate all of this. Our Heroes with Heart Gala, it will be virtual. We will be honoring an amazing thoracic cardiovascular surgeon who's been in the community for 28 years, and he has saved thousands and thousands of life with his specialty. Dr. Kathuria is amazing. Grand opening of the emergency department will be November the 16th. And then to celebrate some activity on the Del Webb campus, we will have our Walk for Women's Health on December the 6th, and that will be in Surprise, and that will be a lot of fun. So with that, I just have a favor to ask of all of you. We're getting ready to say goodbye to each other, and for now we love to have these get-togethers, and we will continue to do so. And where you could help us is offer up topics that you would like to know more about. We have access to some of the most impressive and most successful medical professionals across the valley, and they love to come on board to these, just like Dr. Anderson did, and talk about their passion around providing and supporting superior health care. Or you heard Chip this morning with Zoom tips. He did a great job with that. We thank you for that, Chip. And we would love for your help in planning future topics. So please be sure to let me know what would be of interest to you. You see my contact information there on the screen. You can call the office or my cell. Either one is fine. Probably my cell would be better because I always have that with me. Or you can email me. I always have access to my email address. The other piece is that you may think of some questions a little bit later on, or if you look at this Zoom coffee again when the recording is on the website, you share it with friends and you have questions, please reach out to any of us and we'll be happy to answer the questions or at least get the answers if we don't have those. So to echo Joe, we hope that you stay safe and well. We certainly appreciate your giving time today to come to this very exciting virtual coffee, and we look forward to seeing you again in the future. Thanks so very much. Bye-bye.
Wow, you need all different places. Probably.